Good evening, investors. Welcome to our class tonight. Apologize ahead of time for any background noise you might be hearing. Apparently we're having an impromptu party at my house. So all of a sudden got kids and people everywhere. It is the holidays, I guess. Welcome, good afternoon, or sorry, good evening and good morning to those of you on this side and the other side of the world. You should be able to see a screen. Let's get started. The market has been pretty quiet over the past couple of days. There's not too much to actually talk about, but I do want to go over a few things, review our open positions. You should be able to see the current spreadsheet with our open positions and the most recent closing price, our both of our targets, and our stop prices. Yesterday we had UPS trigger. That was that over 73.50 that triggered the other day. I'll go over that first, and then we'll move on into the rest. All right, first up, UPS down here at the bottom. We were looking for here we go, just like this. We were looking for the complete reversal back up and over this high here. It did get over that high, did not close above it, but enough to get us into the play. If you did not have a chance to play it, notice that you will have another logo play opportunity, which hopefully comes tomorrow, would be the best case. You can see it there. I'm assuming that, oh, that was horrible. My mouse just did that. I'm assuming I probably don't even need to draw this, but you can see that should we get a move higher tomorrow, you'll see the logo. That price, for those of you that are not in it and would like to be in it, would be over 73.50 again. So that is kind of the magic area for this stock. Remember, the reason why we're playing it is we have multiple market strategies triggering at the same time on our weekly chart. That's why our weekly chart is on the left, not the right. The weekly chart comes first, the daily chart comes second. We find what we're looking for over here on the weekly, we get in on the daily chart. You can get in on the weekly too, it's just you're going to be behind, a little bit behind. Sometimes you can get a better price on the daily. So UPS, we have initial target 76.50, secondary target 78.80. Remember, these targets can be adjusted up, never down. Stop price is currently 8%, and should we get over 73.50 tomorrow, well, tomorrow's Friday. Should we get over 73.50 tomorrow, I think that would be enough. We'll be able to start reducing the risk as early as Monday. Moving on, here's the spiders real quick. A couple quiet days here. You can see we just had that one gap up and sell-off day. Overall, a lot of back and forth going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our sixth day. We did just barely close above the 50-day today. That's a good sign. And after hours, we are up above the 50-day. We'll see how we open tomorrow. Remember that this I'll explain this in a second. This downtrend line we were talking about the other day was recently broken, so most strategies that people follow, they're anticipating that the market continues higher, and we're doing the same thing since we're long. Targets would be at the next downtrend line. This is where people like to look. It's also a Fibonacci area, as well as we'll have our, unless it goes in one day, we'll have our long-term indicators showing for some profit taking as well. So that is the spiders. Moving up our list from most recent entry to the oldest ones, we have SIG, another day of kind of quiet here. It's a little bit flat. All that really means is when we get over this range, it's going to be that much bigger. We'll get that much bigger of a bar. And so we got a whole 17 cents out of it today. Got a lot more work to do on that one. Always nice when your stock bases after after you have profits. Let's say if you're just getting in and it bases, it's a little bit tougher. But if you have a little bit of profit, like our friend Ellie, it's easier to sit and let it base, right? Because you got some money, or you're just sitting there staring at profit every day. Either way, we're looking for that to get up and over the base, and hey, we just got to wait that one out. Now, if the market were headed up in a stronger way, if we had 3 or 4 good green bars on the market, I'd be a little concerned about this SIG. But given that the market's really, other than this kind of one day here, this is all real. That tail on the spiders there, that was kind of a back and forth day. But other than that, the market's really not doing anything, so I'm okay with that. I don't mind sitting through a base, and again, it's easier when you got a little money in the bank. ADM, kind of also basing here as well. Today's a great day to see this tail after yesterday's tail, so I feel good about it. There's nothing new for me to really report here. Nothing new to do to it just yet. Still a newer position, still getting going. Our worst performer of the day was Tex, and at one point it was down 3+%. To see it recover that much and to get that good of a recovery, especially going into the end of the day with that extra volume, good sign, right? Because what happens is, think if your strategy is to play this breakout, right, and you played it yesterday, you're a little concerned, right, when it did not follow through, and then the next day it starts selling off. So you have a lot of people that are giving up on that breakout in there. Now for us, we will never take a play and have a stop that tight. That's kind of frustrating if you have a habit of doing things like that. So for us, it's just a bit of back and forth at the moment on Tex. We're basically, just a couple pennies in the hole. So all this back and forth over the past 2 days has really done nothing for us, good or bad. So we'll continue to wait on that. Overall, our weekly chart still says that there are multiple market participants playing this to the upside, and we'll continue to be a part of that. CAM, still above the 50-day, nicely moving higher, just slow but steady, right? I'll take this every day, these slow uptrending symbols like this. I don't want the wild gap ups and the big crazy down days, crazy up days. I can't handle that stuff. I like the nice, easy, give me a big day every now and then. Give me something exciting to catch my attention. But for the most part, just keep eking its way up into our target. And that's what we're doing on CAM. Not too bad. PKI, nice little pullback on its way, hopefully to get over the highs after this pullback here. This is very similar. If you go back 2 days, this is Tuesday right here. There's not really anything new to report on that one. So we're still hanging in there, still doing well on PKI. And, see what we get. SLB, I should lump this together with CAM. These two are in the same sector with each other. Also above the 50-day moving average, staying there nice and tight. That's good. There's no more whipping back and forth above and below it, so we're starting to see some new players hop into that one. The volume shows that as well. Not too bad, right? Everything's still good on the weekly chart. Remember, let's say this stock sits right here and doesn't do anything for, 2 or 3 weeks, right? We wouldn't be concerned until the end of that time period, because remember, the people that play these indicators, all these can do is react to what each price does. These don't move because they have a mind of their own. They're just responding to the closing price of X many bars back, depending on how you have it set. So if the stock sits here for 2 or 3 more weeks, it's going to average the closing price over however many bars back you have it set, and this will just creep up, 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 and it'll get to an oversold position. So the people that don't know how these work and they just see it up here again like this, they'll just say, oh, well, maybe it's time to get out. At the moment, it's still pointing up. Everybody's happy with this. They think it's doing just fine. Fibonacci players, price support players, they have no reason to sell, so we should have no reason to sell as well. We'll see. NWL is just flirting with our first profit target again. Remember NWL, let's see where we're at here. Pull this back up. We know we have our order at $22. That gives us just over 11%. Should we hit it? I'm holding out for it. Right? We came within a few pennies the other day. Good green today. Everything is straight up and away. Nothing's too extended. Again, I like the slow and steady ones. I'll take, this. Just give me a couple percent every week on every one of these symbols, and I'll be happy. So hopefully we'll hit that profit target tomorrow. Take off 3/4 of that. For those of you that are new, we have our spreadsheet here of our open positions. We have 2 targets right here. The first target that we hit, we always take 3/4, or I will always take and say, take 3/4 of our position off, and then that last quarter will float for the bigger target. And we'll just keep raising it. As we get close to the next target, we'll raise it again, raise our stop, raise the target, raise a stop, until one day we hit one or the other. Kind of just like the home run, have fun, see what happens. So, and then moving on to these two positions, we've already hit our first targets. Cree had a great day today, recovered some of that from the other day. We already hit our first target. If by chance you didn't get out at that $33, which was our first target, looks like tomorrow could be your day, right? So if you missed it for some reason and you're kind of kicking yourself, remember you sell on the way up, don't sell on the way down. If you missed that we talked about this on Tuesday, but if you missed the $33 target and you didn't sell, never sell on the way down, because how do you feel today? You know, if you sell on the way down, you sold pretty close to the low. That's how it has to work. So never do that. Always sell on the way up. Even if you miss it, let it bounce back up, take your profits then. And GIS, a little sloppy up here at the highs. You know, got some, you know, we know that this is the way this symbol moves. We talked about this when we first initially started playing it, but a little bit sloppy. So, you know, sooner we can get over the highs, the better. I'll feel better about it. But again, we only have a quarter of our position. We're shooting for that bigger target, closer to 45, and time will tell. Okay, that's a review of our open positions. I do want to talk about one play here that I want to make sure we get, and that is the symbol DE. DE we talked about the other day, and we were talking about it to give us a logo play, and it didn't do it. Going back wherever it was, right in here. So we saw this pullback right here, and it ended up making a new low. So I said, no problem, we'll come back to it. I want to take a look at it here, back over this high. The high is 85, and I believe that was the same number we were looking at the other day. The reason why is it's the same sort of timing as that break of the downtrend in the spiders. Right? So we have the players that are looking for this. Anytime you get... Alright, so this thing doesn't work very well. My mouse must be dying or something. Alright, think about it this way. Anytime you get a market that's pulled back pretty good, right? That's almost a 50% pullback from the summertime run. And then you have a stock up here that just barely pulls back, right? You got to take advantage of those. And when the market's pulling back, that's how we find, those are the plays that we look for. All right, we look for the stronger names. We want to play those as they move to new highs. So on this one, if it gets over 85, this is one I want to add to our position here as well. It's a good strong name. It's one of the stronger names in the sector. We've been talking about it now for about a week and a half, just kind of got it on our list, you know, just keeping an eye on it. And I think tomorrow could be our day to get it over 85. So just know that that is going to be a play. I'll post it on the page for you guys, so anybody that's not here gets a chance to see that. And that'll be because we get over this last recent area of selling, which is 85, right on the dot. So if you're looking to start playing, if you're new and you want to start playing along with us, there's the next play that we're looking at. Congratulations to the pot players. Got a couple emails on that. Nice job. Maybe it's done well over the past couple of days because the amateur people think this has something to do with the new Washington state laws, but actually this is not. It's nothing to do with that. And we were talking about just a short play from 39 to 40, and it did it in just a couple days. And the reason why we picked 40 was right up here. See this here? Right up here into $40. So pretty cool on that one. Very, very nice. So we'll take that off the list. I don't really have any need to look any further with that one. You can look for a logo play. Just keep in mind you are playing the weakest stock in the sector. Okay, we'll look at those from time to time as long as we're playing one of the stronger stocks in the sector. But just keep in mind that if you're going to play a logo play on this one, it is one of it. Let's put it this way: it is the weakest, most popular stock in the sector. And by popular, I just mean that people know of the name in this sector, not everybody wants to go buy it. Okay, so careful. Then the last one was CME. We're waiting on a logo play for that one. Now you can do the same here. You see this long downtrend? You can pick off that downtrend as well if you like. Just depends on how it does it. We're waiting for it over 56. Any logo play in the meantime that we get would be fine. And remember, over 56 because of that right there. That's the only possible logo option for us right now. Would be 8%, Ellie, on that DE to start. So always start with 8%. Then once we have it moving in our favor, we'll use prior lows and things to sneak our stop up behind it. The worst thing to do is, well, think of Tex the other day. People that bought that breakout and then hid their stop right underneath it, they got stopped out. So we'll start with that 8%. Remember, we're taking 5 to 10% of our portfolio and putting it on each position. So we've got a little bit of leeway there. Getting back to CME, we have, remember right now, the only way to see a logo play is if we continue in the upward direction here. Okay, so that's why the entry on that's over 56, which is a good dollar away. And this stock, you know, it has some good days, but usually it does not move that much in one day. See all these little moves right in here, little tiny things. Today, this was $1, but how often do you get one of those? Every now and then, right? You know. So I think the main focus going forward, as far as new entries, is going to be DE. Get that DE up and over 85. Could happen first thing tomorrow morning. You know, doesn't matter. You just put your order in ahead of time, and if we get it, we get it. And yeah, that's about it, actually. Like I said, the market hasn't done a whole lot. It hasn't been too exciting, so there's not much new to say. We know what we're looking at the market. We know we have our multiple market strategies lined up, so we're playing in the long direction. Those are our open positions. We're looking to hit some of those targets here soon, probably starting with NWL. And we'll go from there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, you are always welcome to email. I like answering emails. Either way is good, you know, doesn't matter. Question is, am I late for any of the stocks on your short list? On the short-term list. All right, so for those of you that are new, this doesn't mean that we're short. I know you know that, but what we have is two lists. The short-term list, these are the symbols that we are have not hit our first target yet with their newer plays. As they hit our first target, we'll shift them up to our long-term. These are the ones where we have only the quarter of the position left. We've already taken the bulk of our profits, and we're looking for a bigger target. Now, anytime there's a symbol that you have yet to play, or you're not in, and maybe you walk away for a few days, you come back and go, hey, they got UPS, what's up? I want to play that. Anytime you want to do it, you can hop in with us anytime you see a new logo. So, John, you know, UPS, we can play that over 73.70, right? You can put an order there. And the reason why I point these things out is because, so this is an event that will cause me to raise a stop, which means I believe it's going higher. So anybody that wants to participate, as long as we're not, you know, 2% away from our target, unless you're okay with that, as long as we're not like 2% away from our target, you know, you want to make it worth it for you. You can play those sort of things there. SIG, I pointed out there on Tuesday that SIG, if you get over this high, you can play that breakout. A couple people that got in a little bit earlier. We picked it up the other day on the logo play, and you know, a new play would be over this breakout. That'd certainly be a reason for us to raise our stop, whether you got in earlier or later. So SIG is an opportunity. I don't think ADM, I wouldn't mess with that just yet. I'm going to make sure that tail gets taken out. And then there's TEX. TEX has plenty of opportunity here. We're just getting started on that one. Okay, we picked up this logo play right here. We're fresh into it. See, it's just pretty new. Okay, if you want to hop into it, you know, you got a new logo play. Should it take out the close of yesterday? So yeah, there's some things you can look at. And anytime you see that, you've got to use your imagination a little bit. But you can say, all right, over 24.50, I'm ready to play along with these guys. Not a problem. Some of these other ones we've been in for a little bit. We've already raised our stops after multiple logo plays. Here's a good example. We played this SLB. We took this logo play right here, this guy. All right, so we got in there when we saw that logo play form. And then after we saw this next one, I won't draw it. You can see the W there. When we saw that next one, we started raising our stop. So new people could jump into that one, or could have jumped into that one. That's fine. So that's a good example of how you could play along. And that would have been, what was that? I'm almost 6-7 days later. So never feel like you have to, you know, chase or feel like you're going to miss something. And also, we're shooting for 8 to 12% on the first part of our play, or the first 3/4 of our position. So if you ever see, they're in some play, let's go pull the thing up. You could look at something like this and say, okay, some of these, they're just getting started. They go back and forth between positive and negative throughout the day. You can take any of these because we're within 1-2% of where we bought it. Same with maybe PKI or something. But anything further than that, then you kind of like, well, if we're already up 6%, we're getting ready to take our first target. Chances are our stops have already been raised, so we're risking less. Wouldn't really be fair for me to start suggesting those for new players. Good question. Yes. So the question is the recent one, the recent class, Tuesday's class, recorded? Yes. You can go. Hopefully, you've had a chance to log into our page. If you are from the other side of the world, just know that usually we post this recording of this class the following morning, so that'll be nighttime for you. So 9-10 o'clock your time at night, you'll be able to see it, which works. If you go to work, come back, have dinner, you can watch the class. It's so weird to talk about that. Time changes. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, if something hits you in the middle of the night or any other time and you have a question, you can always send an email to me, Dustin, at tradingwings.com. I've always got it up here, so I usually see it pretty quick, and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. If not, we can talk about it in class. All right, you guys have a great rest of your night or morning. Enjoy. I'm going to take the screen down and wrap it up. Have a good night.